on Made in SA, we are all about community with Allanton, a registered nurse.
My dream is definitely to work in the community. First and foremost, as a community health worker, that would mean advocating for community rights.
To be successful in this job, I think you have to be able to manage different projects at the same time. It's very project-based. Personality-wise, I think you have to like people.
This is how we roll on Made in SA. We celebrate young people of excellence and give them a kickstart on the road to making their dream a reality.
My name is Allanton Faisal Solomons. I am 26. I grew up in the West Rand, Randfontein, and that's where I'm from. In terms of this community, the best thing would just be the sense of community that they have here. The fact that your neighbor is not just your neighbor, but they're a friend when you need them. The fact that the community has so much turmoil, but amidst all of that, we all stay united when need be. Allanton sometimes has this strong facade, but underneath all of that, he is a soft person at times. He is loving, he's caring, he's all of those things. So that would be how I would describe Allanton. What I do for fun, I'd either hang with my friends and then we'll do, let's say, the social market. We've got a Kasi market that we do here in the West Rand as well, so I would help with coordinating that and being a part of that. We do the market, we do theatre performances when we do find the time. We'll do a lazy lunch, or on a Saturday we'll just decide we're going to go swimming, we're going to invade a park and hang out there. So those are the things that I do for fun. Die meeste spesiale mense in my lewe, that would first and foremost be my mom, my pa, just based on the contributions that they've added to my life in terms of their mentorship, in terms of the way they've carried me through difficult times.
Allanton is a good child, amazing, and always interested in things to learn and to know more at all times.
Allanton is very determined to reach his goal. No matter what stands in his way, he'll make a way out to get what he wants.
My friends, what they would say about my personality? They would say that, first and foremost, I'm good at being a friend, because that's what I really excel at.
My name is Ntswaki Masweo. I've known Allanton since 2008.
Kia Sishabela. I've known Allanton since 2011.
Allanton is very crazy, energetic all the time, okay? Like 24/7, in the morning, in the evening, midday, all the time.
High energy levels, very honest. Sometimes he'll be honest even if you don't want him to be honest, but he's just gonna tell you the truth. A very loving person.
How do I pick myself up when the going gets tough? There's a lot of prayer that goes into that. There's just a lot of sometimes getting away from all of these energies, the energy that I portray out to the world and what the world gives me, and just shutting down. My dream is definitely to work in the community. First and foremost, as a community health worker, that would mean advocating for community rights in terms of health, also for the betterment of the people in general. What made me decide to do this as a career? Maybe the fact that I went to work with my mother. She used to work in Coronation, and I would go to work with her, and I would see the amazing work that she did there, and I've always said that I want to be that person. I want to make a difference. I want to go home and know that I've changed or touched someone's life, and that's where the dream started.
When he was a baby, he used always to take the beds that are in the yard that are dead and open them like this, doing operation. I thought that he will be a doctor when he's growing up. That's why in my heart I thought, no, Allanton is going to be a doctor.
What I've done to get closer to my dream of becoming a community health worker, I'm back in school now. We're doing a lot of community work in school. We're doing a lot of disease management. So just sort of getting the academic side of it so that I'm able to advocate for those rights. I'm able to know how to go about solving these problems and how to manage them.
On Monday.
I think it resonates a lot with what he stands for. Allanton is all about service. So being a community health worker is something that he was born with. I don't think he's going to find it challenging to live up to that dream.
Allanton is a people's person, and he's all about helping people. So Allanton being a community health worker is just him doing what he loves.
For him to be a better community worker, he needs to not always think about other people, but also think about him, because most of the time he will burn out because of that.
Allanton wants to be Superman to everyone. Okay, I'll come to you in the South End, I'll come and see you at work in Randburg, I'll go home as well, and then I'll come like I need to study, and then I'll go and do that. Like, he even forgets to take time out for himself.
He thinks he can sometimes go to work, leave work, see this person, see that person, come and see you. But it often happens that there's not enough hours in the day.
It's important for me to follow that dream of becoming a community healthcare worker, just because that dream has been cultivated such a long time ago, and it's so much a part of who Allanton is. So it would be silly not to follow through on that. So much work has been done in terms of who I am and where I want to go with my life.
I think things that will make him to reach his dream is to listen, to respect others. He's a hard worker, and I know that he'll do it.
Besides the capital factor, the other things that could stand in my way is the fact that I don't look like your conventional community healthcare worker. I don't speak like your conventional community health worker until you get to know me and you get to see the work that I've done and I share my dream with you. So that could be an issue. I've always said you need to be so good at what you do that nobody can deny you the right to stand in your way. Nobody can deny you the right to serve. Nobody can deny you the right to be present and to be functional in whatever setting you may choose to be. And that's what I strive for every day. If I didn't have this dream of becoming a community healthcare worker, I would have loved to be in the arts. I would have loved to be out there doing amazing things in terms of production and just presenting, perhaps, and that's what I would have liked to do.
You will benefit by having a coach because he's a good listener. He's taking his very good time to listen and to do what really is needed to be done.
Allanton, my nana, my everything, I am proud of you. I've seen you come a long way. I wish you nothing but the best. Remember that we are all here for you. You're going to be an amazing community health worker.
Allanton, we're proud of you. You're going to be an awesome community health worker.
Keep the passion up and remember why you started.
Working with people is not new for Allanton, being a nurse and all. But now his coach has a difficult challenge planned for him. Time to find out what. Will Allanton make the grade? Find out after the break. Today we're spending time with Allanton, who is all about community and the people that help create it. With the solid family base he received from his family as a child, he can see where this love comes from.
My name is Keletso Makofane. I work in public health, and in that field I work in two different organizations. The organization I work at in South Africa is called the Anova Health Institute, and I work in another organization in the US called the Global Forum on MSM and HIV, or the MSMGF. Across all my work, I do public health work that focuses on HIV as it affects gay men and other men who have sex with men. And that spans from international public health guidance work that I've done with the World Health Organization in Geneva, through the organization in the US, to throwing a pageant or organizing a soccer tournament, or organizing a netball tournament for gay guys here in the city. So the work that I do spans almost the entire field of public health, really, in terms of its scope. We use both terms because some people are men, they have sex with other men, but they don't identify as gay, they don't identify as bi. They might or might not also have female partners, they might or might not be married. So there's that group of people, ba tlhokang thuso ya rona le bone. I love this career of mine, or this combination of jobs that I have, because it links me up with a community of people around the world who are working on the same issues that I am. To be successful in this job, I think you have to be able to manage different projects at the same time. It's very project-based. It's also important to have a social justice orientation in this work. Today I'm coaching Allanton, who is interested in a career in community health work. I understand Allanton is training as a nurse, and it will be interesting to see how the things he learns as a nurse can be applied in community health or public health more broadly.
What I'm expecting from today is that I'll probably meet with my coach. I'll probably have some challenge that I'll have to do, so that would be exciting. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen today, but throughout the day, it would just be a bit of community work, I'm presuming, and just getting into the heart of things. I don't really know what the challenge is today, so that makes me a bit anxious, but other than that, I'm more excited than anything.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Keletso.
I'm Allanton.
Nice to meet you, Allanton. Will you come through?
Thank you.
Yeah. Please grab a seat. So, Allanton, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So Allanton is a 26-year-old male that's currently busy in the clinical sector working as a nurse. Very passionate about community development and just disease management and working in that faculty. So that's what I like doing.
Why your interest in community?
My interest in community, I grew up in a community that's been very good to me first and foremost. My mom has been doing a lot of community with my dad, so it's sort of second nature for me to branch out into that.
So the first part of the challenge today will just be to engage with some material. You don't have to memorize everything, but it's good awareness, I think. Allanton's challenge is to engage with actual people who have experiences accessing services as gay men, as men who have sex with men, and to use all that information to provide us with recommendations for how to improve services. The first thing here is just to get a global context. Like globally, this group of people that we work with called Men Who Have Sex with Men, which includes people who identify as gay or bisexual. This group of people has very high HIV rates. So like this picture you can see, here in South Africa, for instance, it's the red, you can see it as red in the map. It's amongst the highest in the world. There's a group of countries here with more than 15% prevalence, which is to say 15% of men who have sex with men have HIV. In this sector that I work in, we talk a lot about key populations. And key populations are groups of people who, because of various circumstances, have a higher burden of HIV than other populations. So in South Africa, there's a very long list. Here it is. Young women, especially young women who are not attending schools or young women who drop out of schools, people who live in low socioeconomic settings. And then if I skip some, you have right at the bottom of the list, men who have sex with men and trans people, transgender people. This challenge is fundamental to public health work. Public health work is about understanding what's happening amongst big groups of people, in communities, in countries.
My first impressions of my coach was, this person's got a similar haircut to mine, so I'm sure we'll gel together. So that were my first impressions. From the onset, he was professional, he was knowledgeable, so that really helped.
Allanton, we're here at Nokopila Clinic in Dobsonville. One of the important things we do as a program is we engage with men who have sex with men, with gay guys in the community, hear what their challenges are when they have to access health services. So your challenge today is to speak to a group of guys from around this community and to really get from them what their challenges are when they have to access sexual health services. At the end, you will debrief with me and give recommendations for what we can do to improve the services that are delivered at this clinic. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm excited. Let's do this.
Okay, let's go inside. Allanton. So these are the guys that you'll be chatting to this afternoon. And I'll just be milling around on the edges, just observing how you how you engage with people. So, go ahead. My first impression of Allanton was that he's very outgoing, he's a very personable guy, and it was very easy to strike up conversation with him.
Afternoon, everyone. Afternoon. Let me introduce myself. My name is Allanton Solomons, and I want to thank you guys firstly for coming out here and talking to me. Because like with every health service that we have, there's obviously things that we can do better. So today I just want to come and find out from you guys what it is that your experiences when you come and visit the health setting. What are your experiences? What you've encountered when you come? Has it been pleasant? Has it been unpleasant? And sort of look at ways to better that system.
Allanton will have to use his nursing and caring skills to navigate through an interesting and informative challenge. Let's find out how he does it after the break. We're spending time with Allanton, who wants to expand his nursing career by becoming a community health worker. Time to see how he handles his challenge.
It might seem a simple task to sit down with a group of people and kind of hear stories about their lives, stories about them accessing or trying to access services at clinics like this. But the challenge for Allanton will be to tease out the different aspects that make up how they access services.
My name is Gift anyway. Firstly, when I started visiting the clinic, I experienced some challenges. Because of as a gay guy coming to visit the clinic for the first time, and you just find that some of the nurses don't know how to deal with gay guys.
Do you guys think it's important to disclose that you're gay when you come to a health setting? Does it have any importance in saying that I'm a gay male, or should they just treat you irrespective of your sexuality?
I don't think the facility has to look at your sexuality, whether you're heterosexual or homosexual. They just need to treat onto what you're having a problem with.
Do you get the right kind of help? Do you get spurred in the right direction? How do they deal with that?
At first, we couldn't get such kind of services. So now it's much better. I can walk into a clinic freely without having any hesitation.
I think we need just more education, and it can happen if you in a room and do you trust that person enough? Because with the location health services is that the people that are servicing us in the clinics are the people that we're living with. So your people rather go to the clinics that are far from where they're living to access services instead of taking them like where they live around.
So the fact that there's a lack of privacy and a lack of confidentiality, does that sort of make you not want to access these health services? Or are you still going for your regular checkups and you still go to clinics? Or does that sort of hold you back when you think of going to the clinic?
It kind of intimidates you as a person to find out that, as he said, that you find out that there's somebody that is from your neighborhood, that somebody happens to be the nurse there, you understand? And then you do know that your confidentiality, like your privacy and whatsoever, it becomes, it's going to be something that's going to be said around the neighborhood.
It's been really informative, speaking to you guys and what your challenges are. And with every system, we always try and better it. So I will take all the feedback I've gotten from you guys and I will use that to sort of advocate so that we can become liberal as people, The challenge is everything. It is amazing speaking to people. So I got to engage with people and find out how they find healthcare settings. So that's really interesting. It also brought out part of my persona, which is public speaking and engaging with other people. So the challenge is interesting, it's exciting, but it's also informative and it's around relevant issues that affect my specific age group as well. So that was interesting just to know that there are people going through those struggles and trying to bridge the gap between that. So that was amazing.
The impression that I got with Allanton is that he looks like somebody who knows his job, and then he looks like somebody who's going to bring change actually.
He can make a great community healthcare worker at Allanton because of he has this thing, he's outspoken and he's very ambitious.
So of the challenges that the guys said they have, where do you see gaps in the service setting, and what improvements would you make?
Gaps that we could possibly work on is definitely we need to work on the individuals that are working at the clinic first and foremost. And that would sort of spill into the community then. The way the healthcare providers are treating these individuals, that was an issue for me. If we work in terms of their behavior and how they conduct themselves, that could sort of solve the problem, because now we're giving the community the right to pick on them when they're in a setting where everybody's coming there for the same reason. They're coming there because they've got a health problem regardless of anything else. So that for me was an issue that we could look into.
What is the barrier in nursing college to addressing these issues there? So if nurses are trained in college and they're trained on all the different kinds of people that they could see in clinic, then why isn't this group of people already trained in nursing colleges like yours?
I think what the barrier is that we cover a lot of subjects in terms of communication and professionalism and how to conduct yourself, but we never really get to these subjects in particular. So when you go out into the clinical setting, it's far different from what the literature says. So that poses the problem that we have right now.
So if I could identify places where there's space for improvement, one is so you have a big personality and you got the group speaking really quickly, but you also ask questions really quickly. So one thing I would say when you facilitate this group is to not feel pressure to ask questions and to always drive the conversation. One of the questions you asked the group is, how do you make sure you're safe? And that question to someone who maybe feels that they're not making sure that they're safe is a very difficult question to answer honestly. Right? Because they'll say, yeah, of course, condoms every time. But if you ask maybe more a question, what do you do when you have sex? What precautions do you take, if any? Right? You allow the person to say, well, sometimes I use condoms, sometimes I don't. Or if you're going to ask about condoms specifically, how often do you use condoms? Instead of saying, do you use condoms 100% of the time? Overall, I think you did a great job. I think you really elicited information that was useful. And I think you dealt with very sensitive subject matter with those guys in a respectful way. And I think everyone left feeling respected. At the same time, you got information that's valuable to use as a program. So congratulations.
I think today's challenge really assisted me in terms of my dream of becoming a community health worker. The fact that in order to work in the community, you have to sometimes drop tools and really go into the community and assist them and speak to them and see what their problems are like at grassroots levels.
Allanton, I'm very proud of the work that you did today. I think you have a connection with this work that's very personal, just like I have a connection with this work that's very personal. So I think it's important to keep that personal connection and to use it to drive your energy, to drive what you want to achieve. So I think you will do amazingly based on what I saw today. You're very driven, you know what you want to get, and you're going out there to get it. So continue the way you are, and I think you will do amazing things.
I am more than convinced that this is exactly where I should be, and this is exactly what I should be doing with my life.